Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. We still got a couple of days until the big reveal to see how good the animations and kits are for Vegito Blue and Rose, Fusion Zamasu, Blue Goku and Vegeta, Trunks is there as well, regular Zamasu, Goku Black. Obviously, we're well aware of the fact that the fusion parts of both of them appear to be just the active skill, which certainly is a bummer, but there are bright sides to this that we can look at. And what I want to do with this video is I want to focus on not really last year so much. Actually, let's pull up last year's Worldwide Download Celebration Part 1 characters as well, right? So we will be looking at Tech Broly, and then we also be looking at Goku, Gon, and Trunks. Actually, maybe this celebration really is going to be a dual Dokkan Fest, right? So, alright, so here we have all of the characters, right? All the different 2024 Worldwide Download Celebration characters. Alright, now remember, last year's celebration was Carnival plus Dokkan Fest, right? So here we have Tech Broly with this leader skill. He's just a Carnival, which is 200% to one category. This year's, remember, Carnivals would now be 220% to one category. Here's what the Dokkan Fest was, right? So at this point, we were deep within the 200% meta. About 2.5 years or so. Well, actually, no more. Closer to almost 3 full years, right? Of the 200% meta. And they just kind of like gave it to 3 categories. Like, Super Saiyan Power Wishes were definitely strong categories. Then for Part 2, Kamehameha, this was obviously very, very, very strong. But just at 200% right there. And then we have Broly with the 3 categories right there, right? Honestly, the leader skills, like these characters and their teams were very good. But, like, their leader skills were not like, oh my god. So, what I'm trying to point out, what I would like to see for these guys, I feel like they're not going to do this. But one thing about the 2023 Worldwide Download Celebration characters, their leader skills are unique, and they've got like the best leader skills we've seen in quite some time. Now they're going to be a little outdated by percentages, and certainly, this AGL Vegito Blue character would suck, and Tech Fusion Zamasu outside of turn 1 sucks as well, right? Or I guess once he's in his domain, but his condition isn't as is bad like theirs. So, look at this. This is like the best leader skill of all time. Like in a vacuum or something like that. Because they have Battle of Fate, which is a ridiculous category. Future Saga, which was the whole celebration at that point, so the category is very strong. And then Power Beyond Super. Dude, like, this is an insane 3. But then that's not it. So they have their 170% to stats. They give the extra, 200% as for Realm of Gods and Time Traveler. But then they just have this tacked on as well, which is really crazy. So then they just gave Super Class Allies 3 key and 150% of stats. So all Super Class characters were on their team, which is just ludicrous. So like a lot of people were running this character's team, and then they were putting like Bulma on the team, like LR Bulma, back when she was like ridiculously powerful, right? But like this is so nuts. I would love, and it would really help, I think, the 2025, now not Worldwide Download Celebration, but Global Dokkan campaign. If we were able to get the same type of leader skills, right, for these characters. Let's look at Fusion Zamasu as well. So, same thing. Realm of Gods, Worldwide Chaos, Fuse Fighters. His leader skill was not nearly as good as the Goku and Vegeta, right? Because it's like, at the time, Fuse Fighter was not ridiculously crazy. Worldwide Chaos was pretty good. Realm of Gods was obviously pretty good. But he didn't have, like, the craziness that the Blues had. But his leader skill was still structured exactly the same, right? And then he's also got the extra stats for Time Travelers and Final Trump card as well. But then he's got this, too. The Villains, Extreme Class, 3 key, 150% stats. That is the thing here. I want to get rid of these. If we look at where the game is right now, right? So, we've kind of entered into 2025. They've upgraded leader skills for the first time since the start of 2022, moving from 200% leader skills up to 220% leader skills. So we don't have like the most like super relevant leaders. You could definitely get away with running a good team like this guy right here, the physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku / Super Saiyan 3 Goku. You could get away with running him as like a lead because Battle of Fate and Accelerated Battle are his leader skill, right? So you could do stuff like that. But like the top tier leaders this year, there's only so many. And I mean, this is where like the leader skill idea I have, I would say is mainly geared towards making the Rose and Zamasu tag character really crazy. Because so far this year, right, the 10th anniversary essentially had no villain characters, which is pretty crazy. So part 1 was the HL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the Tech Vegeta, and the Evolution Blue Vegeta, right? Perfect. Then part 2 was the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the HL Gogeta, and Goku and Frieza. Now, Goku and Frieza are technically a villain, sure. And that the reason that does matter would be, there's tons of, like, extreme class missions and shit like that. But it's like, this is not, like, villain characters typically, besides, like, GT Super Saiyan 4s or something like that, villain links are usually much more important, right? A lot of superclass characters, we just have our Saiyans with very common link sets across all these characters. Prepare for battle, Super Saiyan, very basic stuff. Villains, though, have these real beefy links, like big bad bosses, and, they made the mistake when the game started. I mean, this was before they obviously ever dreamed up the link level update and stuff like that, but like all the Hera clan for Bojack units, and then the Destroyer of the Universe, like Turles, like links, specifically for Turles type characters, that stuff hurts right nowadays. So we don't really have like a crazy villain leader this year, because with the 10th anniversary, despite the fact that it's a 6 LR celebration, they essentially went with 6 Saiyans. That's what they did, dude. They went with just 6 superclass Saiyans, basically. Again, I'm well aware of what Frieza is, but I mean, it's, they're a villain, like, only, like, officially. Like us, like, bro, you know exactly what I mean. So, I mean, me personally, I love the idea of the 6 LR celebration, but I think Dokkan, like, they miss with it, because 6 LR celebration, you're able to get Vegito and Gogeta in there. They could have been a little bit more loose with the units they dropped. This is where they could have dropped Saiyan Saga, OG Dragon Ball, major villains, right? Which a lot of times, I mean, again, this is the conversation we're going to be going back to forever, which people they just cannot, like, they're so close-minded, they can't, like, just, like, expand their thinking to, oh, yeah, right. But they're not going to just be like, all right, anniversary, OG Dragon Ball Part 1, right? Or like, all right, now it's, Global Dokkan Celebration. All right, let's push our chips to the table of like Saiyan Saga, like non-Super Saiyan characters, stuff like that. Like, they don't do that often. Like, all right, like, now we're going into 11th anniversary. Let's do like a double villain Dokkan Fest at the start of it. They're not going to experiment like that, right? They're just going to go with the Super Saiyans that, like, have more attention, more hype, more sales, blah, 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 right? But that's why the 6 LR celebration is so good and why they didn't do a good job with it. Because with the 6 LRs, they could have dipped into that stuff. OG Dragon Ball, Saiyan Saga, villains, non-Super Saiyan characters. Because, I mean, they had fucking Vegito and Gogeta there. And then they had 4 other LR slots. Now, of it basically being the 6 Saiyans too, then we go through, and it's like Saiyan Day, of course, is almost always going to be, even if it is a villain, it'd be like Broly or something like that, who just works really well with a lot of these superclass characters. Cell, right? So, like, we get Daima Vegeta, who's just a Saiyan. Episode 1, Dragon Ball Kid Goku. I mean, he is a Saiyan, but, like, he's not really structured like that's the Saiyans I'm talking about, right? Where, like, a lot of these guys are, again, just, like, prepare for battle, Super Saiyan, like, the same basic type of things. So we did get Cell, right? Who's, like, an elite villain character. Like, Cell was, like, very underrated, and then quickly I feel like people adapt and realize how good he was. But his team is not... His team is a little bit iffy because Cell is designed to not be run as a leader, basically, right? Like, both cells can't be running at full power. And then we get Hit, who Hit is certainly a villain, but I mean, I don't know. He's not like I guess what I'm trying to say is he's not like one of these like big bad bosses type villains and stuff like that. His team, Universe 6, Rapid Growth, Accelerated Battle. Accelerated Battle does have a lot of good villains on it, right? Like, you know, we have Janembas and Demon King Piccolo and Cell and stuff like that. Like, there are good villains on Accelerated Battle. But, like, we're looking for, like, a really, like, we need a crazy villain leader skill. Because since 220% were introduced, it's like we have Goku and Frieza, who are basically just a Saiyan. We have Hit, who, like, kinda is just on his own island, essentially, as a character. And then we have Cell, who's great, but Cell's not really a great leader character, right? If that makes sense. He's great, but not great if you've got two of them. So that's why, like, I thought about it, and I was like, if they redid this exact type of leader skill, it'd be so fucking big for villains. And, I mean, remember, let's just pull up, I've got Future pulled up right here. Let's look at the Tech Goku Black and Zamasu. Look at their link set, dude. I mean, they do have a little bit of Saiyan stuff in here, but I mean, we got Fear and Faith, Big Bad Bosses, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Bam, dude. And Nightmare too, right? Like these right here, these 5, very common, right? Like Janemba characters are going to be on here and shit like that. Like they're going to work well. They've got the big one, Big Bad Bosses. So that's why if Dokkan would do this, I wonder if it's too early in the 200% meta for them to actually do that, right? Like this type of leader skill where they're giving. So what I guess what I'd be suggesting is they would be able to give, you know, man, I guess because it is kind of. So I guess it'd be kind of like the same thing, huh? So maybe like it would be a 220, a 170. Oh, yeah, but or a 150 is so low. Damn, man. Because like you see the way it's set up, it's like there's no point in them even having the categories if the secondary part of it is going to be 170. Because what I would like would be like, you know, they would do like the 3 categories, right? Like, you know, let Realm of Gods, Worldwide Chaos, Fuse Fighter again. Let's just go with that, right? So it would be 170% stats, and then the extra would get you the 50 to get to the 220. But then this part where it'd be Extreme Class 3 key, HP, attack, and defense 150% to all Extreme Class characters. I'd want that bumped up to 170, but if they would do that, I suppose then at that point, it would make this pretty redundant, so I guess it would probably, like, if they were to do this, it would probably just still be the exact same, sitting at 150%. That's so low, though. Like, you would feel that's such a drop in stats from 220% to 150%. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe, because there'd be 3 numbers, so this one would need to be 170%. Maybe it's kind of like the baseline number they could give would be 200% right here. So they baseline would give 200% to the 3 categories. The extra stats would bump them up to 220. And then this could be sitting at 170. If they did that, that would be so big for villains in particular. But then, of course, I mean, this would be the superclass one would be the best leader skill in the game as well. So I would love to see that. That's one of the best things about this Vegito Blue and this Tech Fusion Zamasu is their ridiculous leader skills, which no other character has had one like that. Like, they just made such insane leader skills, and they haven't dropped any characters that have those. I think now, kind of redoing the Future Saga, you know, worldwide download, now global Dokkan celebration, I think that would be a perfect way to go about it. So, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully Dokkan would do that. At the very least, hopefully the leader skills and stuff are crazy. I think with the characters, kits, and animations, I'm going into this pretty optimistic. But I was going into the first reveal optimistic, and then they made the fusions just active skills. So we'll see. I'm ready. I'm ready for any door. You know, we go down the left door and they have perfect kits and perfect animations, sure. Or we go down the right door and whew, it's not so perfect in areas. I'm ready for anything. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully we'll see these leader skills return. And I'll catch you guys next time.